Hello, my petals, and welcome back to another episode of the Roze Garden. I am your host, Tabla Rosa, aka La Rosa Negra, or Black Rose if you're nasty. And today with me, I have Kat once again. Welcome back. She was on episode 1 of Black History Month.
Hey, hey, hey!
And I have a special guest with me. I have the honor of having my mentor, my beloved motherly figure while I'm in college, who I quite literally am afraid if I mess up this semester, she just might drop by my house and kick my ass. Dr. Johnson.
I'm glad you know it, my dear.
You're not supposed to confess on tape.
Ashe, ashe!
Always real. Yes, I'm very happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Okay. In today's episode, we just got done talking about the men, but I wanted to do this in a time fashion rather than a linear fashion, because we always end up finding ourselves in these spaces where, or not even in these spaces, but just in this long-standing adage that behind every strong black man is a strong black woman. I wanted to do this where we finally, in a temporal space anyways, put women first. So, today's episode is going to be all about black femininity and sexuality. Now, I should be candid, just as I was in the previous episode. I am non-binary. So in this conversation, I am listening and drawing from both sides. And my take on this is sort of navigating both spaces and figuring out what I can take from both spaces and what I stand to learn from each space.
Mm-hmm.
Kat, how do you identify? Are you womanly? Do you identify more queer? How do you find yourself?
Hey, everybody. First and foremost, I am always blackity black.
Mm-hmm.
Not African American, but black with a capital B. On top of that, I am queer.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I am femme.
Mm-hmm.
I am starting to embrace the power of my womb, the purpose of my womb, and the blessings of my womb. And I love every aspect of my femininity. I'm also starting to read some books of the Arisa faith to truly understand how uncomplicated sexuality was in the Yoruba religion and culture, and how European logic and the ideology just complicated things and just made us start thinking a little differently about who we are and who we like and what we want to be and who we want to fuck.
I mean, speak on it. It's. I hate to do this, but I sort of have to because I reference you, but it's weird having you here versus referencing you. Dr. J, we actually talk about this in class. The fact that indigenous cultures had no bounds to binary. And this was something that was enforced on us with Christianity and European colonization.
Right. Plenty of indigenous all over, right, the world. Indigenous in Africa, indigenous in, several different spaces. So that's very true, in addition to the fact that the Romans were, much more...
They were more than just polytheistic.
Yes. So, yeah, this is real. The idea of late European, let's say, 17th century European, using Christianity as a mechanism for control. Yeah.
Which brings us to modern day. I am curious to know, because we all identify as black here, I do have to pose the troubling question that I don't even have an answer to. Do you two identify as black feminists or womanists?
I know that this is bad in many circles, but I sort of lean toward both.
No, I I understand that. I draw, like, it's one of those things where I see the benefits of both sides, but both sides also have incredible faults.
Right. And so then there are people who don't completely identify with any one particular ideology.
Mm-hmm.
And the more I learn, the more I lean in that way. You know, even now I call myself a Christian, but I have so many different problems with Christianity.
That's my thing, and I'm gonna have to talk about spirituality at some point. I think I talked about this on the first episode very briefly too. I see myself with a relationship with God. Christianity, I don't know if I want to really stamp that tag on me because there's a whole lot of messed up, muddy translations on what we're supposed to be doing written by old white men too many years ago.
Well, and then just understanding that Christianity itself originally, you know, that was pagan religions.
Mm-hmm.
Or what we call pagan. Why we call it pagan, I have no idea. You know, just I think you and I were talking earlier today just about the use of language and the meaning of words and how those meanings got just twisted all around the more that they were used by people in power to try to foment the power that they already had.
Right.
So, you know, Christianity or organized religion will always have some type of issue because it's organized religion that sets up hierarchies and bureaucracies and all of these different things that we have problems with, particularly since we are members of marginalized groups. But at the same time, we are social beings.
Mm-hmm.
And we're constantly looking for ways to be social, people to be social with, things or groups to belong to or to identify with. So, you know, in this day and age, traveling through and between things may be more of the norm than we actually realize or admit to.
Mm-hmm. Finding ourselves within these groups, do you find... Okay, I probably should go ahead and say this for the record. Dr. Johnson is also queer. So we're all queer, we're all femme, we're all black. Within these three, I want to know, because it's obviously a bit different for me, but do you find it to be difficult to be all three of these things?
We're black and femme?
Yeah.
No.
Oh?
I thought it would be really hard. Here's the thing for me though. Recognize that I have other privileges.
Right.
Aha.
That allow me to be who I am without question.
Absolutely.
Right. If I were still in my 20s and still a never married single mother with, you know, a kid on my hip, right? And still on food stamps. A lot of the ways that I wouldn't be able to present myself the way I can present myself now as a 55-year-old with a PhD, making a considerable amount of money and making the money. And the way that I make my money is to be outspoken.
Mm-hmm.
The way that I make my money is to be quite intellectual and speak my mind. So those are privileges that allow me to be whatever I want to be.
It makes it easier
and
for
then
you
tell
to
you to kiss my ass if you don't like it.
I can definitely speak to that, Dr. J, because I am still working towards building some of those privileges for me as far as, you know, education goes. Because I know that with my big move coming up to North Dakota, which has a slightly higher percentage of blacks than Chico, but only by 2 points, not by much. With that being said, I packed up my belongings today and I purposely left behind anything that would define me as queer or black revolutionary. So my shirts of Black Panthers, my shirts of Black Lives Matter, I left them behind so I wouldn't even be tempted to wear them. But what I'm taking with me though are my Ankaras, my Nigerian prints, because it's more accepting than that radicalness in their face.
These are the decisions we end up having to make, right?
Yeah.
And then what we're going to display in public versus what we're going to display in our homes.
Exactly. Yep. And learning how to navigate.
And we do this on an intimate level too, with our friends, with even who we decide to try and seek out as suitors. That's where I was saying it finds that difficulty, like both in existence. It works for you, Dr. J, because you being all of the different parts of yourself all together helps fuel your like research and spoken personality and whatnot. But for me, it's not that it isn't easy for me to be all of myself. It just feels like an act of defiance constantly. In one space.
It's like an act of defiance for me too.
I'm sorry.
You just do it well. You do it so well, Dr. J.
Well, here's the thing. Don't think I'm not scared all the time.
Okay.
I'm scared all the time. We just got through talking about, my tenure process. I am an assistant professor. I'm not an associate professor or a full professor. I do not have tenure. So even as a professor, as someone with a PhD, I still have to be careful, right? I can act like I'm, Miss Thing walking in certain spaces and say all I gotta say. But have you seen me in an academic senate meeting? No. Right? So there are still ways that I have to be careful and that I am mentored to be careful. Like, not yet, Lisa. Don't do that right now. Okay? And I have to pick and choose.
Who you gonna be?
Not who I'm gonna be, but where I'm gonna go.
Okay, that makes sense.
I think that speaks a lot to Black femininity, because we look to you as a role model because of who you have to be, who you are in this world. But that doesn't mean that you aren't still facing those fears, those struggles, those risks. But it's a blessing for us as young folk to be able to look up to our elders and get that strength from all of you.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. That we know y'all did it, we can do it. What you saying?
We're looking up to somebody else.
Right.
I'm looking up to dead people. Right.
Yep.
I get on people's nerves telling them not to quote Audre Lorde because she's overquoted and tokenized at this point. But there is a reason.
Audre Lorde and bell hooks.
Yeah. Even Angela Davis. Right. We feed off of the words that are coming out of Angela Davis's mouth. But it is also the point that we need the Angela Davises of the world. I mean, because they killed everybody else. Have y'all seen Judas and the Black Messiah?
I've not yet.
Oh, Lord.
I see what they did to Jobs.
Right.
Job.
Right. It's still a reality.
I'm going to just say spoilers abound, listeners. If you are not prepared for this, I'm going to just ask you to sort of jump forward. I'll provide a timestamp in the bio. I'm okay with spoilers, but for anyone who's not, I'll provide a timestamp for y'all to jump to.
Yeah. So, I mean, we all need role models. Yes. But that's also why I try to be as honest about who I am as possible. I'm also awkward as I don't know what. I am always afraid. I'm sure you're gonna get into the sexuality thing. I cringe sometimes, talking about this because I have been socialized in the church, and I'm still, a little church girl. And so, finding spaces to be comfortable so that I can eventually, explore and reveal and all of this other stuff. I was in a closet for 30 years. You're talking about like fear, real fear, and having to overcome that and having to find those role models and trying to look towards somebody. And so I do love Audre Lorde, and I did at one point love Alice Walker, and I needed the color purple, and needed those spaces, but also needed more and needed different from them because I recognized that they were being tokenized. Those can't be the only people we know.
Absolutely. Especially because they did something in a way that catered to your standards or your needs. Absolutely. I knew about Marcus Garvey growing up. I knew about Assata Shakur.
Right.
I didn't learn about Audre Lorde until I came to Chico State.
Yep. I didn't learn about her until I went to graduate school.
So for me, that makes me feel a certain way about their agenda.
That makes you mad. It is almost as if they feel, the infamous they, the powers that be, feel as if they're not going to give us certain information unless they know we're not going to revolt on them with it. Right? You can't get this information until you get to graduate school. Because by that time, we will know that you have invested so much into your education that you won't want to throw that away, and you won't start burning our houses down.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
And that's not to say that the people at the HBCUs and other people don't get access. They get much more access to that information than we do, who were, educated in white schools and, different environments. But yeah, I went to a Southern Baptist college. That's where I actually graduated. And before that, 20 years before that, I went to the University of Georgia. They got antebellum stuff down there. They were still having antebellum parades at the University of Georgia when I went there. Was I going to learn about Audre Lorde in 1986 in Athens, Georgia, with rebel flags flying all over the place?
Nope.
It was just enough to get an African American politics class. And that was taught by Michael Lomax, who had to drive to Athens from Atlanta because they didn't have anybody black at the University of Georgia at the time who could teach it. So, these are the issues that we have all the time.
And what we're teaching, because a lot of our African tradition, religion was oral, by way of oral tradition. So how much of it is being given or passed down without that European influence?
Absolutely.
My aunt, Omatade, who was an Arisa, who I did not know at the time she was living, but I'm very well aware of it now that she has passed on and become my Agun. In the Yoruba, it means ancestor. But Dr. J, when I've been at her home for the past 2 months now, almost every weekend. When we were there last Saturday, she had 2 statues on her dresser. Do you know one of them was this nice white ivory colored picture of our normal African woman with her bosoms down to her stomach, her voluptuous, behind, right? Her lips full, her nose so broad. The statue next to her was of a brown man as it appeared at first glance. I picked up and brought those statues home with me Saturday. Today is only Monday. Do you know what I discovered about that brown male? He is intersex with 2 heads.
Oh, wow.
Breast and a penis protruding from his body.
Wow.
And they were standing there together on her dresser. I wish she was alive to explain to me what this meant to her.
Right. Why that was in her home.
Yep.
What she thought of as she gazed at it every
Yes.
Absolutely.
It took me almost 24 hours, Dr. J, of staring at him to see who he really was, because it wasn't evident, because Europeans have taught us to only see things a certain way.
Right. Absolutely. This is the difficulty of having to scratch and kick to keep our own ancestral knowledge alive. This is part of that difficulty, because it has to be passed down from generation to generation. But if we have generations that are
being wiped out
in schooling that is only structured and standardized by a hegemonic order, then how can we ensure that that information is passed down? That's why you give folks that's why you got me with, learning about Audre Lorde at the age of 45, right, in graduate school. That's why you get the students in my class now who are like, I had no idea. I didn't know, right? And we have, Black people with varying degrees of knowledge about our own history.
Yep.
It's by design.
It is.
By design.
You always teach us that. This ain't by happenstance.
Somebody rigged that. They Jimmy rigged that. I wish I could say the other word, but I can't do that.
Oh, no, you can. You can say nigger rig here. You can definitely say nigger rig.
Okay.
It's still February.
It's February. It's Black History Month. This is my show. Who gonna check me?
Okay.
Look, did we get our chicken? The chicken here?
It's here.
Yeah, that's what that is. Somebody was rigging that to make sure, because psychological control is the first order of business. Right?
Yep. Enslave their minds, enslave their souls.
Yep.
Break their spirit.
Yep. And then after a while, you won't have to watch them.
Nope.
You won't have to watch them. If Black people continue to believe that Black people are inferior, then white folks ain't got to do nothing. They just sit there and watch us tear each other apart.
And not just us, but us fighting within ourselves, us fighting with other communities, all of everybody trying to get out this crab in a barrel situation.
Divide and conquer.
Yes.
Divide and conquer. It's an ingenious plan, and they keep figuring out ways to. They keep figuring out new ways to do it.
Yep.
So we constantly have to be on our toes and aware, but that creates anxiety for us, doesn't it? We always have to be on our toes.
We're in the middle of a divide and conquer on Blackness currently, because there's so many white women that are tanning themselves and texturizing their hair and bronzing, if they don't want to go as far as with the tans and whatnot, getting body augmentations to look like us, and then actively pretending like they are on social media, getting with these Black rappers and whatnot, and we're bringing out these issues, but it's still a divided situation, because they're all like, as long as you're not like being offensive or you're appreciating the culture, then it's not appropriation. At what point do we get to appropriation then? Because they're us at this point. This isn't mockery being or mimicry being the finest compliment anymore. This is eradication, because we're dying at alarming rates.
Nah, bitch, you stole that.
Exactly.
I agree. I want to bring up porn. It might be a risque topic, but nonetheless, you notice it in the porn industry. You have women, just like Cammie said, who want to enhance their breasts, enhance their lips, broaden their nose, widen their hips, so they can sway to the rhythm of those African drums and entice their lovers and give them the most highest sexual experience they can encounter. But you see those videos of the Brazilians, of the Indians, of the Latinx women, 90, 80% and above. See the same video of a black woman, score is in the low 80s. And it makes me feel like our skin color will never be good enough for them.
It's not
I ain't
even
worried
just
about
that
being
either.
good enough for them no more.
I'm not even worried
I
about
ain't worried about being good enough for them no more. I ain't worried about what's between my legs ever being for a white person. I ain't worried about my breasts ever being for a white person again. That
the ship has sailed.
Yeah, I'm not worried about being good enough for them. I think that at some point I have come, and maybe most recently come, to recognize that, hey, look, we were talking about retirement. We were talking about, access to resources.
Mm-hmm.
I am content with the fact that I will never be a millionaire. Okay? Because the price for being a millionaire in a white man's world is too high.
Mm-hmm.
And it's certain things you can't pay me money to do, say, or be. So if you gonna dangle a bunch of carrots called dollar bills in front of my face and act like I'm gonna do whatever it is you need me to do to convince other black people that they need to be inferior to you, then you can keep that $1 billion, that $1 million, or whatever it is that you feel like you gonna pay me to betray my own confidence in myself and my people's confidence in themselves. So keep your 80% rating.
Well, and I guess that's my point. You got these people out here pretending to be us, making this elaborate amount of money, and yet when we're doing it, we're significantly making less. And yet they're profiting off of us, appropriation in all aspects, not just our culture, our body, our way of sex, everything.
And on top of that, like you mentioned porn, I wanted to highlight something that a lot of people don't even pay attention to. The fact that you've got all these people aspiring to be black women, and yet still black women in any capacity can't get decent roles for the most part. But in porn especially, it's always these derogatory, overly raunchy, dare I say, primal exoticizations of women. And like, it's always got to be, and on top of that, it's always got to be black women who, if they are attractive, it's still a matter of quantity at that point, because for some reason she finds herself in these scenes with group sex. And not that it's a problem, but for that to be her niche, it becomes an issue when you see this constantly repeated over and over. And then if it's not her being a niche with group sex, then she's got to be some sort of like squirting trope, or if she's not a squirting trope, then she's got to be this, I hate to say mammy, but that's sort of what it is, because the whole unicorns too, but like milfing as well, because that whole situation, it's very weird for black women, and I don't like it. I'm
talking about stuff my 55-year-old self can't even keep up with that.
We're over-sexualized as a black woman.
Yes.
We're over-sexualized as black women.
That's the point I was making.
But not making the same amount of money for it as white women who are using our culture of sexualization or our style or our themes or
you can't even get the same level of respect, if not even the same money. Because again, it's...
So let me say this. I think I hear what you're saying, but I think that there is, to a certain extent, there's nothing new under the sun.
Okay? You're right.
So there's I think that we're still, maybe, I don't know, I think that we might still be buying into the idea that black women's sexuality is so different from other people's sexuality. Okay. We they can do the same positions we can do. We didn't invent it.
Right.
We did not invent the penis. We did not invent the vagina. We did not invent,
Speak, Dr. J. Then why did we become so sexualized as being so different?
That is the point.
Yep.
We became the tropes for the things that they did not want to recognize in themselves.
Uh-huh.
That's
some wisdom.
Yes, we sexy. Yes, we are.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't matter. Like a thin white body should be as sexy as a thick black one.
There you go.
Okay?
There you go.
Neither of them should be I guess promoted as out of bounds or completely different or superior or inferior to the other. And so if you took away that inferiority idea and that superiority idea, then we could all just be who we are. And there would not have been so much I guess publicity around somebody like a Hottentot Venus. She wouldn't have ever been a circus act in the first place, because everybody would have recognized that she was just a woman. But we still have these ideas floating around that, TNA are a black thing. Okay? Right. Our bodies are our bodies, and our bodies are beautiful. And your little thin body with your no lips, that can be beautiful to somebody else. If white women could be proud of what they already had,
then black women wouldn't have to penalize.
Trying to get what we got.
Right.
If we could be proud of what we already had, we wouldn't have to be running around pressing our hair and trying.
But those are different. Though.
Things. Go ahead.
I gotta say those are different though, because speaking from both academic and realizing how the world works, it was illegal for a lot. It's still in some counties bannable, and you can be terminated from jobs, kicked out of school for wearing your natural hair in any context. So that's different. I want to say that's assimilation.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. If we were allowed to be proud of who we were, instead of constantly made to feel inferior for who we were.
Which is what I struggled with.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
At a young age.
I was just going to ask that too. Do you feel like this existence has made it hard for you to find yourself as a black woman, either in existence or even as a sexual being?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Fucking-lutely. That's what we was talking about in our last podcast. Is because of the inferiority, superiority complex that they placed on us, it affects my fucking African American identity. It does. It affects my self-worth. It makes me feel like I have to always be perfect. And if I'm not perfect, then I'm not capable of showing up.
Right. Can't get that job. Can't go and that has the economic ramifications. The way that the system is set up, that we cannot even take care of ourselves.
Yep.
Okay, we cannot pay our bills because our hair is natural.
Mm-hmm.
We can't pay our bills because somebody said we needed to lose 20, 30 pounds. Honestly. We can't pay our bills. We can't get called back for the interview because, whatever else is going on. We have children in our household, and, the other partner is in jail somewhere. It's all a part of a system. We can't get jobs if somebody find out that we are, too masculine. Let's talk about, I'm serious, let's talk about studs. How do studs get jobs?
I didn't even think about that, if I'm honest. And I guess that's a privilege on my end to not even have to think about that, because I'm femme presenting, and with me being femme presenting, no one's ever questioning my queerness.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly.
Having boobs is a privilege.
Thank you. And so for those of us who are attracted to studs, then we end up having to deal with some of the same things that,
straight women
deal with men.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. Oh. Cause studs are hoes too. How about that?
Oh.
Putting it out there.
I wasn't gonna go that route, but you're not wrong.
Okay, I ain't gonna say nothing.
The hoe lives in us all.
They like a little bit of that too.
The hoe lives in us all.
So this, I mean, it's all wrapped up in the same little issue. Some people are just not even allowed to be themselves, you know, and all of that is wrapped up in a capitalist society that puts a price on your identity.
So this is not directly related to femininity, sexuality, but if capitalism is so harmful to those who do not have fair access to resources and agency, then how do we maneuver? And I've never asked you that, Dr. J, the social scientist in the house.
Tammy did. I'm gonna tell you the same thing I told her.
I don't know.
I don't know.
She said, I don't know what we can't do it because you're never gonna find complete unity ever.
Because they separated us.
And identities. Look at how many black folk can't stand queer people.
I know.
Look at how many black churches trying to, you know, give us the side eye when we walk in and try to worship anything.
Yep.
Look how many black men.
Churches here in Chico.
Ooh.
Let me just say that.
Right.
Well,
Right.
I can't speak to that. I don't go to church up here in Chico. I go to church online now because they upload the live videos.
That's what somebody else. I was listening at a Christianity and queerness talk before I logged on here, and they're like, this is the best time in the world to be queer and Christian or anything else, because you can literally log on anywhere in the United States and just church shop until you find the space that is most comfortable for you.
And do that with therapy too. Shop for your therapist.
Too. Yep. Because therapy is online. There are so many things that are online or over Zoom or over Google Works or whatever that is. And you can locate the service that fits you. Where before we were sort of bound by geography and location. So I hate to say that that's one of the good things that COVID has done for us, but it might be. So yeah, that's really interesting. No, I worry about our studs.
I do too, honestly. And then people still forget that at the end of them being studs, they're women still. So, like, I feel like studs almost get this weird dehumanized experience because from my interactions with a lot of different studs I've had the pleasure of being friends with or even just meeting, a lot of people tend not to think they have feelings and sort of treat them as though they're, like, just this, like they're always just this masculine husk, but not treating them like an actual man. I don't know if that made sense.
I don't know.
Like it feels like they're almost given the Ken doll treatment. You're not exactly a man because you don't have the parts for it, but you're not a girl clearly.
So then, you're just a weirdo.
You're a weirdo. You're there to fill a space.
Entity, a non-being.
Exactly.
Yes. That's really I can't. I don't even know anywhere near how to identify with that experience or to deal with that. I don't know. I don't know, and I don't know how they do it. You need to have now one of your programs that's just dedicated to studs. Because I would listen in on that. I would. Right. I would.
Because their experiences are very, very different. Absolutely. I agree. When I recently cut my hair, I was told that I look like a stud. Ha! Ha! Well, let me tell you something. let me tell you something
Yeah.
about this stud, okay?
That's also a major thing too. The fact that like black women aren't even allowed to play with androgyny at a certain point. Just they have it's a femininity or bestiality. There's not even
binary is just killing me. I'm like, really?
And because I cut my hair like this, that means I want to fuck everybody.
Yeah, what is it that a hairstyle is supposed to mean? What are you sending a message because you got a haircut?
Mm-hmm. The same reason men can't wear earrings,
right?
Or get no kind of piercings.
Yeah, all of that's just so.
But Cammy,
men can't enjoy taking care of themselves.
Right. Pampering.
Right.
Not even pampering. I was gonna say basic hygiene because I still see in 2021, and it bothers me to my core. The fact that a lot of people believe straight men are supposed to have skid marks.
Skid marks, what does that mean? You mean in the underwear?
Yes, people still hold this weird notion that to be a man means you are not cleaning yourself properly.
If you have skid marks?
Yes.
In your drawers?
Yes. It couldn't be me.
Okay, so then what does that mean on the female part? Because
your ass is big. That's all. It's too much to wipe.
I'm saying for vaginal excretions, we had. I said I wasn't gonna be nasty like this. Look at y'all.
There's nothing nasty about sex and sexuality.
Okay, yeah, I hear you. But
we got Dr. Briggs backing us up. Look, it's science.
Don't call your best friend,
right?
What I'm saying is there? Are you telling me then that there is still this idea that what comes out of our bodies could ever be nasty? That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Because of the food we eat. Absolutely.
I don't think people are disassociating the idea that this is nasty. I think people just, I don't know what people think. It's hard to even try and digest this, but
you can't wipe your ass all the way. You got a bidet, you got handy wipes. Like, it's just too much. But hygiene is something that needs to be done individually for every person. Not everybody's the same. Everybody's hygiene regimen is going to be different.
But why is hygiene being gendered?
That's
what I'm saying.
Thank you,
why
Cammy.
is hygiene being gendered is what I'm saying.
You hear that, Dr. J?
Okay. Hygiene is being gendered.
Right. Okay. I didn't know that.
Okay. That makes sense. But I don't see how, because women have excretions through the vagina.
Discharge, panty liners.
That's what I'm saying. So you're not going to allow, you're going to say something about men having skid marks while you have these puddles in your panties?
Thank you. It's not just solely about the skid marks. I think that's where we got missed in the conversation. It's not just about the skid marks themselves. It's about the skid marks making the man himself a man and straight and, like, masculine for some reason.
So if you ain't got shit in your drawers, you ain't a nigga?
Apparently. Ta-da! If you could see the disgust on Dr. Johnson's face right now.
And we got chicken laying out too.
I just can't.
I'm sorry, I'm so loud. Stop. Okay.
No, you fine. I just can't.
And on that note, we're going to go ahead and start picking some petals. Let me go ahead and look at these questions.
Yeah, pick some petals, baby.
Black femininity, y'all.
Indeed. It's a very, very...
Sexuality.
It's a complex conversation. Do you feel weird receiving compliments from men?
It depends.
I don't know. No. I feel real receiving compliments from anybody.
I don't know. I have to say yes, only because the compliments from men always seem to be repetitive. I've yet to receive a new compliment in all the times that I've ever received one. And at least with, like, this is just my experience. At least with women, it comes to they're like, oh my God, I love the outfit that you're giving me today. And they'll actually give you a full-on compliment, whereas men will be... To quote Amanda Seales, she makes a funny joke on her stand-up routine. She's all like, men don't give compliments. They make observations.
Right.
They
make
threats. They make...
Right. I feel the same way. Men compliment so they can fuck. Bitches compliment because they feel the vibes.
I don't know.
I don't know if I would say that either. Like, sometimes women be plotting. Like,
they be plotting too? You must say them be the studs.
Women be plotting too. You will be in danger.
I think both. I'm sorry.
Stop it, Dr. J. Now you gonna have my straight friends thinking I'm plotting when I be like, girl, you cute today.
I mean, are you plotting?
I just think it depends on the person.
Mm-hmm.
It's not... I feel like we get into problems sometimes when we say we don't want to be, have such a binary thinking, right. But we still sort of socialize ourselves to say men are from Mars and women are from Venus. We're socialized to present that way. That might not be the way we are. Right. Normally, without all of the socialization that we, have. So, when we think about men crying, or when we think about women yelling, or, me putting a shovel in the back of my car.
Who you murder?
That was a joke, cat. But, we end up having these gendered ideas of who's supposed to do what, and it's hard for us to catch ourselves and think, oh, am I playing into the stereotype right now?
Yep. Absolutely. I have got some hats for the winter weather that I'm going to experience that is 3 degrees right now, and I call them Eskimo hats. Subconsciously, without even acknowledging the harm.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I agree. Lie to you. I only learned about the whole problem with the word Eskimo recently. Well, I don't know why we keep saying it, but I only learned about the problem with the word recently.
It's socialized. The socialization is so deep. We would have to invent a completely different language.
So, Dr. J, do you feel like that is why it is hard for us to have successful polyamorous relationships?
I don't know about polyamory. I don't, that's me and my old church lady. I don't, I have not explored polyamory. I can't speak to it. I don't abhor it or anything, but I don't know. I have couple of polyamorous friends.
I identify as polyamorous, actually.
That sounded like I just said I have black friends.
Your grandma polyamorous?
I did that, right?
I'm not homophobic.
Right. I'm not scared of polyamory. I don't, but I will say that I don't know as much about it, so I can't speak to it.
I guess what I'm inferring is that if you're socialized into one way of thinking and living, and in this case, monogamous relationships.
Okay.
Because you get away from indigenous practices of
community.
Yes,
right. Then it makes it hard to kind of go back to that, which is why I think maybe there's so many struggles with polyamorous dating lifestyle, just like there is with monogamy, but there's struggles with polyamorous dating lifestyle because we're coming back to it. It's not something we've been socialized into. It's something that we're trying to bring back, so we're having to learn it all over again.
Yes, it's sort of you're speaking of it as like a liberatory type of lifestyle, and I can see that. Going back to polygamy, right? And one wife, 2 wives, 2 husbands, whatever. I see what you're saying. I somebody has to lead the way. If that's what I will say, that somebody has to lead the way, and some people have to have some uncomfortable conversations with the general population before that comes back really, in full force.
You speak so wise. Oh, you speak so wise.
Really?
But in polygamous affairs,
polyamory was never a part of ancient African tradition.
Well, not polyamory, but
exactly.
I'm just speaking to polygamy and like multiple sex partners in one gender.
Right.
Like not even just multiple sex partners, but multiple partners in any context. Right now, I'm speaking to sex specifically.
Okay.
It's still one of those things where it's even split up because polygamy is only accepted in the regards of it being two women, like on a social, or rather for everyday people outside of porn.
Yes.
And it didn't used to be that way, Adam. It didn't used to be that way.
So according to Ife tradition, and the only reason why I'm so on that is because one day I did decide that I needed to learn what my ancestors were worshiping before they jumped that ship and they came to America. Okay?
Right.
So their Roze tradition I am reading up on. And it is in their chants, in their prayers, in their readings that they've now transcribed from oral tradition, that the creator, Oludumare, I can't even say his name.
I'm not even gonna lie.
Oludumare. The creator said that only man will have multiple and not woman. Period.
And that is in ancient tradition?
Yep.
That sounds,
the Yoruba tradition and culture.
That sounds like something written by men, though.
Right.
Cause
y'all, can I share with y'all?
Please.
Something that I learned in Bible study.
Go for it.
The Levites that set up a lot of the societal rules around Christianity. Somebody said to me, I was in a Bible study and they blew my mind because Christians keep looking at the Bible as if everything in the Bible was sanctioned, ordained, and spoken out of the mouth of God.
Exactly.
Jesus is only I think 2 chapters.
But, I said God. I didn't say Jesus. There's a difference because that Old Testament,
you're right.
Somebody pointed out to me that you can tell in the Old Testament what was spoken by God because whatever that property is, the whole book is saying God spoke to me, whatever. And that's whether or not you believe it or not, whatever. What I'm saying is when the Levites in, I guess it was Deuteronomy, set up society and they had all these rules about man should not sleep with man and woman should not. That was the Levites talking. Those are not scriptures that say God said to us we needed to set up society this way. That was people writing down the rules that they decided that what they were going to use as they tried to get this group together that made up this society. That was not. I was like, what? What you mean? Because it's in the Bible. So what's going on, right? But somebody had to say, okay, distinguish between what is said that God said and what people just decided.
And that is why I become spiritual, because I don't know. Right. So I'm going to take the ashe that's been on my head from whatever that is given to me from each deity, each religion, each culture that suits me and my purpose because of what you just said.
Yeah. Even the things that Christians believe Like you're talking about Orisha culture, even the things that Christians believe, Christians don't know why they believe it.
Yep.
And Christians, so often we just take one little thing about Sodom and Gomorrah and don't understand what that's really talking about. I mean, so what I'm saying is we all set this up. Whoever the powerful person is sets up a society. Rules a society, sets the rules in a society so that powerful person can keep that power.
Ooh, Lisa! And Dr. J! Ooh, I gotta write that down!
That's all it is. That's all it is. And so from that point on, the justifications come later on.
Right.
Just so they can keep it.
Right.
They go in, they plunder, they, steal, they do whatever they need to do. And then they start writing the rules and regulations so they can keep what they already stole.
We're going to talk about that. You got to have Cammie. You need to do another one on religion and spirituality of the Black experience, because this is deep. Who is really upstairs and who is really below?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's deep.
I usually center Blackness in all of my episodes, but this one specifically, I wanted to make everything Black-centric. Mm-hmm. So it's one thing to have, I typically have Black people, but I can draw from, Latinx cultures and maybe if they've grown up Catholic and whatnot. That's what I would do within different,
Santeria!
That's an African thing, too.
Yes, that has been passed down to the Cuban and Latinx. Yep. Mixed with Catholicism.
Yep. That's cool.
I'm going to have to do another episode on that, but we got a little off track. We got to finish answering a few more of these questions.
Sorry. What she said reminded me of that.
It's okay. Don't be sorry. We're having a good old conversation.
I mean, because we do have several Black Christians that are really discriminating against queer people because of what they think they, have been socialized to believe about the religion, and they don't know that much about the religion that they claim to worship.
Right. Why question what you've been taught or what's been working for you, quote unquote?
Because my grandma said,
right, okay. Exactly that.
Yep, I'm over there.
My former pastor was one of them.
But while we're discussing spirituality instead of, because we're going to lead a conversation. Yeah, we're going to discuss spirituality for a little bit because that's what this next question ties into. Someone asked, what are your affirmations right now?
Ooh.
Now, I don't know exactly what it's hard to ask at this episode, but it's a good question. So,
I have my affirmation.
Oh, go ahead.
My Creator has given me gifts that I am to share with this world. That is my purpose. And I must leave the world with more than which I inherited. That is my affirmation. I am worthy of those gifts. I'm deserving of those gifts. And I have those gifts. And those gifts are to serve others and my community.
All right. You can work that out. You already had that. That's beautiful.
I
have
only recently learned the beauty of and the necessity of affirmation specifically, because it's one thing to manifest, it's a whole different thing to affirm, because usually affirming means you're building yourself up, and that's not really been something I've ever focused on. And I'll be honest, not that okay, let me clean that up, because I see for y'all listening, y'all don't see the face Cat's giving me, but it's a very, very confused thing. I'm not saying I put myself down. I don't see myself in a lowered vision in the first place. So for me right now, it's less feeling the need to try and affirm myself, though there are things I could clearly work on. It's more just trying to get mobility in my life. So it's to say I don't necessarily have affirmations, but I'm learning to now. And it started also pretty recently, because I'm going to drag me later, just listen to what I'm saying first. It was a TikTok that actually helped me get into affirmations, because someone was making a joke, but also bringing out a point that there are lyrics out right now that are literally affirmations, because I think her name is Young Baby Tate, came out with this song, and the main hook of the song is, "I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am rich, I am that bitch."
Yeah.
It's so simple, but it's something that you can constantly repeat to yourself.
Yeah.
Dr. J, do you have any affirmations you're going on right now?
I am enough.
Oof.
Oh.
Yes.
Can we speak to that?
I think that growing up, and I constantly still fight it. There are, people or people in power who would want me to be what they want me to be. They would want me to be quieter.
Mm-hmm.
They would want me to be, not so Southern all the time. They would
How you
want,
gonna be not Southern? That was you born and raised.
it's just who I am. But this goes along with that idea that you got to prove to somebody that they are not, enough, so that you can justify either not paying them enough, or not listening to them when they speak, or not honoring their presence, or defiling them in any old kind of way, or disrespecting them in any kind of way. And I'm enough just like I am. I don't have to do any kind of performance ritual for you to
See my
treat me
worth.
like I'm a human being. So yeah, I'm enough just as I am. If I walk in the room half naked and screaming, that's still I'm enough.
Amen to that.
And everything else is on you, not on me.
Right.
Amen. Yeah.
I'm enough just as I am.
Yep. That's some real shit.
That's what and that's an affirmation that I actually got from several other people who have gotten to know me and have been trying to help
So
me.
that within you?
Right. That comes from surrounding myself with people that actually love me. And chasing away the people who didn't.
All right. We got 2 more questions. Let me go ahead and look at it, because some of these questions are redundant and some of them sort of just feel trivial. But I guess, well, maybe we'll do 3, because I can do one of these trivial questions. The question that's next here is, do you feel inclined to romance as a femme?
Do I feel inclined to romance?
Mm-hmm.
In what way?
I'm not sure exactly I'm not sure exactly how they're asking, so it's one of those things where you got free reign to take the question how it's fitting for you. Because the way I'm thinking,
I am a romantic.
The way I'm thinking, I'm like, are you asking because I'm femme, am I like automatically thinking romantically, or like what do you mean? Am I inclined to romance?
That's not automatic for me.
Right.
Yep.
That's not automatic for me.
In my generation, it fucking must be, because that's what they expect.
Well, they say that, but when it comes to putting it into practice, I have recognized that my partner is much more romantic. I don't even think that way. I don't remember birthdays. I don't.
Oh, she's so silly.
Yeah, I'm bad. I'm bad. I'm always thinking of the practical and just coming from my experience, keeping myself safe.
Amen to that. I was gonna say, I'm like, I do love romance and the idea of love, and I have my moments where I'm like, ooh, I could dream of a future with a family and a white picket fence. Sometimes I have my days, like, I feel like everyone at some point has a moment where they're looking at those people. But my general stance of mind is, I got bills tomorrow. Right. How am I gonna get these paid?
Thank you.
I don't want to sound like a gold digger. I don't want to sound materialistic. I don't want to sound any of those things. The first thing that comes to mind for me is, how am I gonna eat in the morning?
How am I gonna keep?
You know what's so crazy though, y'all? I will sit up there and do those sacrifices for a man, but not for a feminine woman.
Oh?
I'll do it for a androgynous woman.
What type of sacrifices are you talking about?
Holding down the fort.
Oh.
So do you feel like you naturally assume the feminine role, so to say, and to hold down either an androgynous or more masculine woman, but you feel like there's a conflict with a femme?
So yes, I love the feminine role that society has handed down from indigenous cultures to European cultures where I need to be courted and taken care of. With that being said, if my man, my masculine man, or my androgynous woman is not able to provide and protect, and I love them so much, I will step in and do so. But not for a femme. Wow. And my homegirls they make me so sick when they think that they could freaking exercise their bi-curiosity on me. Oh, no, honey, I'm not opening up your door.
Well.
But ain't that crazy though? How I'm willing to do that though for an androgynous woman. You get what I'm you get where I'm going at? Or a man, a masculine man, right? Where the fuck am I fucked up at in my head?
Well, we all have something.
Ain't that crazy?
We all have something, some kind of, way of thinking about it and trying to draw those boundaries.
I'm willing to abuse in that superior way towards another woman in that sense.
Yes.
But don't like it when it's done to me.
Hurt people.
For real. And you got to sit and think about yourself and really do self-reflection to understand that we all fucked up.
We all fucked up. That's why when people talk about, we need black unity, how you gonna do that?
How exactly do you intend to unify when you can't get black people to unify all together? Do you know how hard it is to plan a cookout? Now imagine trying to plan an actual revolution.
Yes.
Because I'm talking about your mac and cheese.
Somebody's throwing shots about the mac and cheese. Somebody want to know who made the potato salad. Somebody's making jokes about the dances on the dance floor.
I don't eat fried. So I used to have somebody say to me, I don't eat fried chicken from anybody who's under the age of 40.
Ooh!
Like, girl, you gonna starve.
Look, they don't want no place from Carter Scholars.
I don't eat fried chicken from nobody. So Miss Hattie gotta make your fried chicken? Miss Irma Jean, Miss Hattie.
Let's hope she remember to turn the fire off.
Oh my God. Cat.
I'm just saying.
We got all of our little issues, right? But those issues come from an honest place. Right. We are such an abused and used group of people. That's actually what it means to be oppressed. Yeah. We got issues. Yes.
Do you feel like servitude's ingrained in us?
Yes.
Especially as a black femme?
Lisa talk about all the time at her church, Mammy. Just like you. Y'all both reference the Mammy.
Yes. How could they not be? And I look, I accept that Mammy role. Look at how I'm dressed right now, right? I go into classrooms and what am I doing? I'm halfway playing y'all's mama half the time.
But what you're wearing right now isn't giving me Mammy. What you're wearing right now is giving me like
black female role model.
I was gonna say Claire Huxtable.
Yes, that's the black female role model. You doing it. Education, black educated queen.
She's giving me, I gotta go to my 9 to 5 in the morning. Show these white men how I do my thing.
Don't play, because we got this.
Okay. Okay, but that is the role that I struggle with quite often. My shape, my skin color, I used to smile so much, right? And always, hey, how you doing?
But you do smile. At least that's I
still do, but I also will cuss you out in a second. So it's a mixture. That's something I have to contend with. I think that we all have to contend with the ways that we buy into the stereotypes that people have for us.
And I hate that you are so representative of your stereotype, which is a black, strong woman, because you are, Dr. J, and I'm so grateful for you being in our presence.
Ooh, that helps.
You are the epitome of black femininity, identity, sexuality. You have a son. you've overcome, that freaking terrorist torment, right?
I also cry a lot. Strong black women cry a whole lot.
Absolutely.
Night, y'all.
And need hugs too.
Somebody just asked a good question that I was actually gonna ask next. Because this is the final question. The rest of them sort of were not trivial, but questions that kind of get answered by everyone on social media. Do you feel like the black woman has become more of a figure than an actual person nowadays? I don't know if I have an answer for that, because I want to say black women still retain their humanity, but at this point, within the black community, I like to think black women are ethereal. Outside of the black community, looking at that from the world's gaze, I want to say I don't even know what to call it.
We're shit.
I wouldn't say that.
Okay.
Because why would you want to be shit? That's what
I don't want to be shit. I'm just saying what would they call us.
No, that's what I'm saying. They want to be us so bad. Why would you want to be shit?
That's freaking. Oh.
So I don't know what to call it. I wouldn't say we're a figure.
Irony.
We're a paradox.
Yes.
We're a paradox.
Yes.
We're a paradox.
Allostatic load.
English. I don't speak whatever language that was.
You stop playing. That's your word. I learned that from you, Cammy.
I don't know what you're talking about, man. I don't speak Harry Potter.
You teach me, bro. We carry the allostatic load being black. Stress. The burden.
Oh.
Our mental health is fucked because we're born black. That's the allostatic load.
I feel like black birth starts out in trauma.
That's it. That's it. And it's scientifically based to appeal to them motherfuckers, since everything needs to be written out.
Because black women.
that cup, baby.
I know. Stop, Dr. J. This ain't videotape. Stop playing.
Cat got something in that cup, y'all. It's about to get loose up in here.
She got her some truth juice. That's what it is.
I was telling Rain, that's why I'm going North Dakota. Y'all, look, I'm too angry out here.
You want my shovel?
Look, it got ammunition.
My shovel with you?
Oh my God.
Is it automatic?
Oh my God. You know what? Let me get to this last damn question.
Okay.
What was? Let me look at this damn phone.
You done forgot your question. Look at what we did to a cat.
Mess. Both of you.
I don't know. It must have been that hair and that tight dress and Cammy got on.
Hold on.
That black femininity coming out tonight.
Girl.
Look at those hips. They don't lie.
Excuse me. I'm built like a square. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm a square right now.
No mentirosa, nega rosa.
I'm a square right now. I'm built like a Roblox character.
What's your question?
That's what it was. There we go. The question was, do you ever feel there are things you can't do as a black woman? Now, I don't know if...
I can't be a whore. How about that?
Well, that's what I was going to say. I don't know if it's speaking to capability in terms of, black women can't achieve certain things, or I don't know if this is speaking to behavior.
I can't be a regarded whore.
I'm sorry. I've already done that. I don't understand why you say we can't do that. I did that.
I mean, I don't know if I guess it just matters how we're presented. I don't know if you can be a respected whore.
Right.
Because I say this not lightly. I'm considering all that Lil Kim did with her sexuality for the music community. I don't know if she was that sexual, if she would have been regarded as a scientist, if she would have been regarded as a theorist, a race scholar, any of these other things. Mathematicians, even an architect.
She was an object. She wasn't Betsy Dawson. So if I go get my PhD, am I going to be regarded in her sense? What do I have to do to get that kind of capital, to get that kind of accolade? So yeah, I do think it's a price to being a black queer woman in America.
What would you say the price is, though? If you could monetize, or not monetize it, but put a label on it. How much does being a black queer woman cost?
For some people,
For some people, because some people can do that,
Exactly. Yeah.
and they pay the price in other ways.
I think I have more of a Wow. I have not been drinking Truth Serum. I want to be clear, people. I just can't talk. There's a difference.
Okay.
I think I have the liberty to be a sexual being, at least remotely, as a black femme and presenting individual, because I'm going into, again, it's circling back to what I was just saying, I'm going into entertainment, so I feel like because I'm sort of processing myself as my own product, as my own brand, as an entity, even if that's sexual, it's still something marketable. Whereas within academic spaces or studious spaces, you can't be a whore, I think, because, or even political spaces, because
I would challenge that notion. We know plenty of hoes on campus right now.
That's
I would challenge that notion. And I say that in the positive sense of the word. Like people who are really into their sexuality, are proud of it, and dare you to challenge it.
And they're black?
Successful. We ain't got many black people, period.
right. I did. I have to correct my stats because I said there were only about 12 faculty. I found out recently. Apparently, in COVID, we didn't got up to, I think it was, if I counted right, 37 black faculty and staff now.
What?
Not within teaching. Don't get your hopes
up.
There's still not that many in academia, but we've got black faculty.
That's crazy, though.
Faculty is a teacher.
Oh, excuse me, staff. We got black staff.
Thank
then.
you.
I'm sorry.
Crazy, though.
I counted. We had 45 faculty and staff.
Oh, we're up to 45 now?
Okay, wait a second. Where was those job openings? I didn't see none of them job openings.
No. I got the list for you.
I've never seen these people is my thing.
Thank you. Kim
Where are
ain't
these
never
black
seen the
bodies?
people. I ain't never seen the openings.
Yeah.
I was on campus when campus
we
was
had
open.
45 black faculty and staff. The problem was that only 10 of those were faculty members.
Right.
And only 3 of those were tenured.
There you go. So you talking about students. They hired a bunch of students.
You're talking about ASCs.
Exactly.
You're talking about student affairs workers. You're talking about...
That's gotta be what it is. Cause I'm like, I ain't never seen these black bodies. And if we count students and staff now...
An ASC, think about the job of an ASC. Her job ain't to be all out front and center for you.
Very true.
Right. Yep.
Right? Think about, we used to have, a financial aid worker, right?
Right.
But he moved to something else. But sometimes a facilities worker, right? We've had 2 facilities workers in my class before.
Right.
But their job was not to be front and center. Their job was to be a facilities worker.
But they're students, and that's an issue because we have so many black students that graduate from Chico State and who remain in the area, and they are not hiring them, utilizing them, and their economic success, their advancement in their academic career, building them up, and they're going elsewhere because they don't care about us. They're not investing in us here.
I would not want to stay here without a PhD.
Right.
That's what I was about to say. As a student like myself, I came up here solely for what Chico could offer me. I have no intentions or ties to Chico. I have my friends,
but and then go on.
Exactly.
And that's what I try to tell people. But I don't understand, and like I said, I have to recognize that there are certain experiences that I can't speak to.
Right.
There may be reasons for people to come back to Chico after they've been down in LA or San Diego or wherever.
I'm planning on it. I'm planning on it. That's what you do. You leave and you
back to Chico.
Exactly.
I don't think I'm
with more capital.
See,
people here.
Yep. Network and capital.
But that also, I guess, begs the question for me to ask personally. Do you feel like this city is one of those settle down cities where you can't actually live your life? You got to come back now after you've built your life and they're like, okay, I'm going to live here now because I got something for myself.
It depends on where the moon was, where the moon and sun was when you was born. In my case,
individual question. Dr. P used to, y'all remember Dr. P, rest in peace. Dr. P used to say it's two reasons black folk come to Chico.
What is it?
They either running for something, or they need to be left alone.
There you go. Absolutely. Dr. Patterson passed away.
Oh, baby, you didn't know? Yeah.
I did not know.
Yeah, he passed away.
I'm sorry. Yeah, he passed away. He had heart.
What month?
In February.
So before COVID. Or this year in February.
This year.
Oh,
this
so recently. Wow. Oh my God.
A few weeks ago. Yeah. Rest in peace.
I am okay, but
it's gonna be a lot.
Yeah.
We'll handle that off of air. That was a beautiful man. He was very, very supportive. Yeah.
Exactly, and that's why I'm so glad to. I'm receiving this information in such a shock because, like you, he had been such a pillar for the black students here.
Yeah.
He was that support system, right?
I didn't have a lot of interaction with him, but I got the luxury.
Right.
He would not give up on black students.
So now he is our Agun, our ancestor.
Yes, he is.
Absolutely.
Yes, he is.
Ashe.
I got the luxury of meeting him and actually him living up to the, what's the word? The image that everyone put him up to. That was my privilege. I got, like, because I didn't actually get to, like, meet him, but it was one of the things where people would always speak of him speak of him highly and put him in such high regard, and then getting to meet him and actually seeing him as this black individual was actually pretty. I don't know. I don't want to. I mean, I guess I can memorialize him and slightly idolize him because
I do, and I never even met him.
He deserves it.
So just because of what I knew about him,
right? He was a figure.
What I heard from the students, from the faculty, I idolize him. And can honor him and his passing. Absolutely. So, Cammie, that's real what's going on with you.
Yes, because of what he did for the people that he did touch, right? What he did for us.
Yeah.
You know, I can't put into words, you know, the way I met y'all was through Freedom School. Dr. P was over there planning with me. Wow. Dr. P would meet with me every Wednesday at that coffee shop on the outside of that coffee shop and talk to me about what I was seeing on campus, and then talk about what he and Cece and, you know, people were experiencing when he was back working at Chico State. And he would tell me about the arguments that him and Cece would have over Men of Distinction, I think was the name of the group of black men that was around at the time. And they would talk to me, he would talk to me about, you know, all kinds of things, women of excellence, right? That was going on. I mean, he had that history, but he would tell me, you know, the issues that he had or the issues that were going on in the black community and what he saw. And then he would like compare that to black psychologists worldwide or, you know, any kind of thing. So a lot of what you get from me was what I got from him.
That's how you know you had a good mentor. A good teacher in your life, person of wisdom,
good influences.
He was phenomenal, and he was funny. He was just beautiful. You know, straight pimping sometimes, right?
You're not wrong. We can't commiserate him properly right now because of the episode, but we can try and I think commiserate's the right word. I'm not thinking right now.
I'm pouring out a drink for you, Dr. P.
We can commemorate. There we go. We can commemorate him with music. Let's go ahead and start plugging some new roots.
Pour libations for him.
Yes.
You know, he's our. You're right. He's our ancestor now.
Indeed. However, I don't know. We're supposed to be talking about black femininity, but I'm thinking this is
an aspect of us.
This is a solid song. It's written by a black femme, but it's more so about the black experience. I was gonna write Very Black by, I think her name is Jamila Woods.
Yes.
Oh.
Jamila Woods and No Name.
You didn't even ask me about my 5 songs.
What you thought we was doing, ma'am? We doing it right now. We go around and round.
Oh, okay.
I didn't have you.
I was like, I did my wrong.
Y'all, this woman is about to beat me up. She said, I didn't did all this work and you ain't gonna call me for my songs.
I want to get my 5 songs.
You know what's crazy though? I got Dr. J's songs from a Juneteenth event that she orchestrated and led through the church from years ago. Still got them songs saved.
We were talking about why white folks don't know that much about black spirituals. Yeah, That was funny. Yeah.
What's your number one song?
I didn't get songs that were. None of my songs are gospel. They are all.
That's okay.
Well, maybe we need to have you lead us in one then before we go tonight.
Uh-oh.
I don't know how to lead you in a song. I ain't gonna sing for y'all tonight. No.
I support that because my throat ain't here either. Mm-mm.
No.
Not tonight.
Ashe.
Okay, I could just say what they are, but I'm not gonna,
we're not gonna be singing tonight. Not tonight.
I ain't gonna be singing tonight. Didn't nobody sign up for that? That's listening.
Excuse
to
me,
your
ma'am.
podcast.
The way
Yes, ma'am.
you ain't heard my voice this entire time. I sound like somebody's chain smoking grandmammy.
Ooh.
I sound like somebody chain smoked 12 packs.
Well,
I
some
smoked
of
12
us-
packs today, apparently.
Some of us are just blessed to be composers, not singers.
I'll conduct. I'll be the best choir director you ever met. I got the arms for it right here. Come on, tenors.
No sense. He got not a bit of sense in the world.
Okay, look, I didn't start this. It was her fault. It was her fault.
And I can't carry a tune, so let me stop.
Oh, you ain't gonna sing?
I do sing. I just can't sing according to my granny. Who created and blessed me with that gift, but I sang.
You like the same thing everybody give, baby.
I can carry a tune. I have sat next to her before. She can carry a tune. She can. She does quite well. She
Indeed.
just don't want to say nothing about it. She can.
Oh my Jesus.
Lord have mercy.
Before we lose focus, we gotta reel it back in, ladies. Reel it back in.
Black history.
Okay, Dr. J, what is your number one song on your list for this week?
Oh, really? You really are gonna ask my songs?
Yes, ma'am. We're gonna go over the songs one by one.
My first one is For Women. It was originally by Nina Simone. But the arrangement that I love was played, I think, at the BET Awards, maybe 6 or 7 years ago. It was Ladisi, Jill Scott, Ambrosia, and Kelly Price.
I know who you're talking about. I'll find that video specifically.
Yes, find that one on YouTube. It is, you'll play it over and over again.
I just want to say for the record, it's Lettucey.
Oh, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I don't know.
That's okay.
I'm sorry.
Of
course, Girls Rewon the World. Yeah, everybody gotta have a Beyonce song.
Yes.
Girls. And then Lakili 47.
Mm-hmm. Lakili 47, yep.
Okay. Girl Gang.
Oh, okay. Hold on, what you know about Miss Lacat? Okay, Dr. J.
I'm branching out. So yeah.
Dr. J, you didn't got new friends, cause we gonna have to have a conversation. Ain't no new friends. Okay?
What little girls you hanging out with?
Dr. Johnson cheating on us.
I got me a little sunshine. Been exposed a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Queen Latifah, that song that says "Who you calling a bitch?"
UNITY.
Ooh, UNITY.
Yes. And then Billie Holiday, God Bless the Child.
Okay.
That's my 5.
Billie Holiday is a classic. So I mean, you've been everywhere with that. Okay. You know what? Who told you to make this difficult on me? Okay. I gotta try extra hard because I'm the music student here.
Oh, well, see, I was bringing my age into it and all of that stuff, but I love that Lakayla at 47. She is. I mean, and she's a big, dark-skinned black woman who can spit.
I think she's like 5'3", so I wouldn't say big.
Short.
She is phenomenal. I love her.
Oh, you mean big, personality-wise?
Yeah.
I'm like, I think this woman is 5'3". I don't know if big would be the word I would use.
No, she is rotund. She is beautiful.
Yes.
I love that. I am so into that. That's beautiful.
Do you have a song for us?
Yes, I do actually.
Mm-hmm.
I was introduced to this queer artist by the name of Moju, who is a woman of color, and she has a song called Native Tongue, Moju, that is so beautiful. And basically, she just speaks to her dual ethnic identity and her struggle in navigating America.
How you spell it? M-O-J-U?
M-O''J-U.
Apostrophe.
Yep. And I was introduced to Mojo a few years ago and have fell in love with Native Tongue.
Okay.
Yes. And I think everyone will appreciate the lyrics of that song.
Okay. It's Australian. All right.
For my number 2, I'm gonna have to go with So They Say by Layla Hathaway, honestly. Speaking to black femininity, she's I want to both give accolades and like celebration to her voice because she's got beautiful lows. She also does this thing called polyphonic resonance, where she does like the split voice and harmonizes with herself.
Mm-hmm.
She's got those beautiful lows. She's been carrying jazz for a while. Not saying she's done it by herself, but with this being a very, becoming a very whitewashed genre at this point, she's cemented herself as an icon within jazz. And on top of that, do you know how many Grammys this woman has?
Really?
Yes.
Songwriter too?
Yes.
Got it.
Yes.
Songwriters are always the best.
Yes.
Performers, producers, artists.
Her low tones, you are right though.
Ooh.
Her low tones you can feel that in your chest when she's singing.
She got that falsetto.
Yes.
What is her famous song? Because I've heard her name. So she must have sang something that put her on the map. What was it?
First of all, she's Donny
Hathaway's daughter. Yeah.
I see she goes all the way back to the 90s, but I'm still clueless, y'all.
For real?
I am. It's okay. We gonna let it go. I'm sure the audience knows.
Always for Love is one of them.
Okay.
She got a whole bunch of recognition recently for her cover of Angel by Anita Baker.
Oof.
Oh, she really? What?
Yeah, she made a cover of that song. It's so beautiful.
Wow.
And this woman just be singing, and then she's still so humble too. Oh.
Audience, I'm gonna put myself up on game. Y'all ain't taking my black card. I'm just saying.
You know, I'm gonna say this, and then we're gonna get back to the subject.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think your black card is challenged by you not knowing Layla Hathaway. It's one of those things. How do I say this the right way? Because I don't want nobody coming after me. Because I will fight.
The right way.
We don't question the black card when it comes to Layla Hathaway specifically. It's just, do you know someone within the same range of era? Or...
Okay, you know what? Y'all gonna fire me. I'm being Instagram generation for real. Because I thought y'all was talking about Azalea Banks.
I gotta go.
I'm like, wait a second. I'm so off. Okay, yeah, I need to. Yeah, so sorry.
On that note, we're gonna go to number 2. You got a song number 2 for us, Kat?
Oh, I'm sorry. I gave you all 5 of mine up front. I apologize.
No. I know you was excited, and also I didn't want you to choke me out.
I'm so sorry.
Kat, what you got for number 2?
For number 2.
Mm-hmm.
what y'all feel about that? That new school R&B that just
Are we talking about
speaks to
whisper R&B?
femininity in the black cultural norm world of femininity, right?
Okay.
Where it's so sensual and just the sound of the voice make you want to have 10 babies.
Okay.
So we got a new artist out there called Vito, and the song is For You.
Okay.
Okay.
Never heard it, but I'm gonna write it down and look it up.
All right. You got it, girl. Oh yeah, you got it.
For You. All right.
That is sort of, well, I know what song you're talking about now. I'm like, it tended to be a whole trend on TikTok. It's an uplifting song, but also I feel like the way it's painted, it's not catering to black women necessarily, because I feel like he does in fact mean it based on what he's saying. It just feels like a limited view, because like the black man that appreciates the black woman tends to see her like academically and strong and whatnot, but I've gotten to the space where I want black women to stop having to be strong.
It's one-dimensional. So I will say that I'm privileged to be able to receive who he's speaking to. It is very one-dimensional. It's the old school R&B black man speaking to that woman.
Right. Mm-hmm. He's building her up, but also it's been done before.
Right. Mm-hmm. And he ain't building them all up, just one particular, which ain't okay. I get you.
But you know what song does build up black women?
All of them.
I was going to say Shea Butter Baby by our Lennox. It speaks to sexuality as well as the natural state of blackness, because the song in and of itself, Shea Butter Baby, was not talking about, it talks to her sexual prowess and whatnot, but specifically the hook of the song that everyone loves is talking about her natural hair messing up pillow sheets. Because shea butter is very, very abusive to sheets and pillowcases and everything.
Yeah. Like coconut oil. FYI, use something water-based. Just saying.
Oh, shame. Okay. I only use what my stylist tells me to use, but okay.
I'm talking about for other reasons.
Oh, goodness. Oh, my gosh. Okay, I didn't understand that you were going there.
We talking about femininity.
It's a part of it. Usually, coconut oil is great. It
just don't work well with other things.
You're right.
So
use some
water base, right? But by itself, it does wonders.
Oh, okay.
Okay, for number 3.
Look, I'm speaking into existence. 5 years from now, I will have my PhD in sexology.
Yeah, you look like you're getting there. Okay.
Number 3. Let me get back focused before I lose my mind. Freedom Rings by Brandy. I feel like I've shared this song before. I'm gonna share it again. This is she's speaking about her experience personally, but I feel like it's a understandable experience, because she's talking about all the different things you're not allowed to do until summoned or until desired from people.
Got to have permission.
Exactly.
Yep. Right.
So we're gonna get rid of that. We're gonna enjoy this song. And as she says, I'm letting my freedom ring.
All right.
I mean, also it sort of plays into Black History Month. I didn't even think about that, but it do, because I'm not finna quote MLK, but you can go there if you want to. Kat, you got something for number 3?
For number 3, y'all all know I love my Afro pop. Because if we are worried about the all feminine feeling very sexy, just listen to him speak, man. We got Fine Wine and Hennessy by Afro Wave 3. 2 by 2, 1 by 1, yes. Let's have some fun and wind.
Was this supposed to be a feminine
Well, it not necessarily black feminist, but speaking to the topics of black femininity and sexuality. And so, if it inspires sexuality, if it inspires you to feel feminine, if it speaks to the feminine experience, there's a lot of freedom with this.
Gotcha.
Because some people look at that as harmful towards the black woman experience, right?
Right.
What? As helpful or harmful?
Harmful. Sexualizing us. But sometimes I find empowerment in it. Yes, I'm crazy that way.
Yeah, that's a thin line. That's a thin line. What is, sexualization versus just sexy? Right?
Now I am going to take song number 4 and sort of critique us, though, while we're on the topic of not just sexuality, but just like sex and relationships too pertaining to black women. I want to say Stupid Girls by Jasmine Sullivan.
Yes.
The main chorus of that song says, boys have toys too, they call us stupid girls.
Yep. Yep.
And then she goes on to say in the next line, when you love them like I do, you'll be a fool. They call us stupid girls. You don't want to be a fool for love, because we've seen this play out too many times. We're supposed to be learning from, and I'm going to say this, and burn me at the stake if you must. We're supposed to learn from grandmama who went back and stayed for love for whatever reason, putting up with the abuse and traumas and whatnot. We're supposed to learn from mama and grandmama and sister and auntie and them, so that we can do better going forward.
Yeah. Or we learn how to be strong and to get through.
Well, we're already
anything
strong.
and everything, because sometimes that's also what we witness too. Not them fighting back, but them having the endurance to get through.
True.
But would you honestly, both of those can be correct.
Mm-hmm. But would you using Angela Bassett roles, would you rather be Tina in the back of that limo? Or, I can't think of her name right now, when she blew up the car and Waiting to Exhale.
Oh, you already know.
Which one would you rather be?
I'm burning up all your shit, nigga.
Yeah, Cat gonna burn it down.
I'm not staying for love and then getting my breaking point and fighting in the back of a limo. I'm burning stuff down.
Yeah, when it comes to relationships, I don't know, y'all. Everybody's just so different.
You're right.
Everybody's just so different. They make different choices because they're different people. Some people are really gonna stay with a partner because they need that stability. That is safety for them. And we can be looking in that relationship and be like, oh, she's so stupid. Why she stay with that nigga? But I can't tell you who to be with. I can hold your hand, or I can decide that I can't sit here with you and watch you, and I have to leave. I can tell you how I feel, because if I'm your friend, then that's my duty to tell you how I feel, so we know how to work that, our stuff out. Mm-hmm. But I can't tell a woman who to be with, who not to be with, because I don't want her telling me.
You're right. Okay, I see and respect that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Kat, what you got for me for number 4?
Ooh, so Ibeyi, they're twin sisters.
You're gonna have to say the spelling of that one.
From the Afro-Cuban Yoruban tradition.
Okay.
Yes.
Come on, Afro-Latinx.
Yes, and Ibeyi means twins. It literally translates to twins in Yoruba. The first song I heard from them and sticks with me is called Oya. They sing that song so beautifully. It really calls on the ancestor. Ibeyi,
knowledge of indigenous music and Black Latinx music. I love Kat's knowledge of that. She just always opens me up with that. That's beautiful.
And I've learned of this group by way of Emmanuel, who is here in Chico.
Emmanuel Saint.
Absolutely. One of our leaders of the community.
All right. I wrote it down.
You got it? You got it penciled down?
I got it typed in. Next. I'm learning here. Teach the teacher, please.
For me, I don't know if she's black, but this is a mindset I'd like a lot of us to carry. And this is, again, my own personal opinion. So, as you were saying, you can't really tell people. But I can suggest the song.
Let them know how you feel.
Right. It's the song 7 a.m. by, I think her name's Raven, but she spells it Raheaven.
That sounds so familiar. Let's see.
Basically, she's allowed herself to this space where she's gotten comfortable within herself enough to not, like, maybe it's just a stage in life I am. It's a whole thing. I even have been working on different writings. The last thing I was working on is called Bad Bitches Don't Backslide. It's a matter of just not going, like, I don't care about your whole fear of, like, getting your body count up. Like, I understand there's a valid reason not to want to, like, sleep with new people or whatnot, but it's not worth getting back into bed with somebody you know is not worth the trauma or something, because there's a reason you left.
Mm-hmm.
Or there's a reason it's over. Mm-hmm. So we don't backslide. We're not going back to trying, like, we're not finding justifications.
Mm-hmm.
We're not doing it. We're not doing it.
Yep.
Kat, for you?
I agree, and I am learning that and embodying that. Forgiveness is what we are here to do. Please let the other person know you have forgiven them when you are betrayed, but know you're worth enough to know that you can't go back as easily the same way because you've been betrayed. The trust is gone. I love it. Okay, for number 5. Number 5, sibling. Let's speak it into existence. How about?
Give it to me.
How about?
Hold on. Let me get my rag. Like, I got my church towel. Preach, preacher.
But wait though. Lauryn Hill. Oh, Jerusalem. Off her live album in the studio.
Miss Lauryn Hill be eating it up every time.
On the acoustic guitar. Yes.
I'm not even gonna lie to you. A lot of people love Michael Bublé's version of Feeling Good, and it's cute. But the only person I've ever known to do that song justice since Nina Simone sang it was Lauryn Hill.
There you go. Yep, Feeling Good.
I think it's also because, like, this is me speculating, but I think it was a matter of all the different things she went through in her life, and when she decided to come back and do that song. Not to say she didn't have the range before, but I feel like it's a song you've got to actually feel.
I got to learn that part of her story. Because I just got introduced to Young, Gifted, and Black.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Black Lives Matter, Sacramento.
Yep. You just got introduced to it?
That was the first time I've ever heard it was from them. Freedom School.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. They did that. That Freedom School, they did that. That was, I remember, let's see. I was introduced to, I can't remember the African, so much music from, let's see, Ghana and Ivory Coast.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, P-Square.
Yep. At a Freedom School. Just things I didn't really know about. Just things I did not really know about. That's beautiful.
I love our Freedom Schools.
I do.
We got one more thing before we go, ladies. You ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
We're going to turn a new leaf. Who wants to start with this piece of advice that we want to give to women or not just women, but femmes in general? A piece of advice we want to give to femininity, about navigating it, something you wish you could tell yourself in the past, maybe even. With this wisdom we impart upon you, we hope you succeed.
I have something.
Okay.
I can only speak to what I think is going to work for me and what I've been told has worked for our ancestors, and that is our spirituality. Without it, we have nothing. We have no worth. We don't acknowledge the power and purpose of our womb and how we should be treated and respected and valued. And so that is what I hope to start instilling in young women that I come across, is recognizing that you are somebody, and we came from a long line of people that made shit happen.
I am curious to ask, because you mentioned it earlier, and I just want to clarify it for the listeners. When you say the power of the womb, are you speaking to your womb literally, or like womanness? Or?
I'm still trying to understand, because I'm femme. So I will say that there's a bit of bias, conscious bias, when I say that. I'm still trying to understand what the Yoruba tradition, religion, and culture meant by acknowledging the power of the womb in those who were intersex. Because I understand that they also recognize non-binary.
Right.
And what that meant to them. So having to understand that and translate it into what we know as it today and bridge the two, I'm not there yet.
Right.
But I do read from leaders of the Yoruba faith in the books that I've touched, and there is from their mouth in writing, there is no discrimination, hate towards the queer community. However, we all know what we feel and we all know what we go through. Period.
There shouldn't be.
Right. But I will say that I inherited 2 statues from my auntie Omatade. Iya Omatade, Mother Omatade, Crown of the Child. Who, like I was telling Dr. J, one of them was a woman, our average woman of African tradition that we're used to seeing. Voluptuous woman, big lips, full lips, broad nose, voluptuous boobs, ass. However, bosom, the male statue that was next to her, who I've only had in my possession since Saturday,
Right.
I realize is intersex. 2 heads, breast, and a penis protruding from him.
Okay.
And I want to learn more about his purpose and what that meant to my aunt, what that meant for Yoruba tradition and religion, and what that meant with him standing next to the woman in ivory. Right? Because we all, it came from somewhere.
It had to. It's nothing just falls out the sky.
Right. Right. Everything.
We're not weird.
Right.
Ordered.
It's not weird at all.
We're not different.
Well, different's not bad.
That's true. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
We can be different, but it's not weird.
Right.
It's not weird at all.
Right. Thank you.
And you know what? That's my thing, is to embrace my weirdness.
Exactly.
It's okay to be quirky.
I'm trying to figure out other words for it or whatever, but I recognize that I am different, and don't have to be like everybody. I can be the only me there is in a seat. You know, we were just talking about 45 Black faculty and staff. I'm the only one like me.
You're the only one that will ever be you.
And I don't have to feel insecure because I'm not like other people. What I'm trying to constantly recognize is, you know, whatever's going on, whatever my psychoses are, my traumas, my whatever, right? All of that is beautiful because it's all a part of me. My anger, you know, is beautiful. My anger will fuck you up. And
Your
that's
anger
not
gets shit
anything-
done.
Right.
It will get shit
Right.
done. My anger will
Yes.
inspire my
Yes.
intellect. I mean, catch me at 5 o'clock in the morning after I have gone to bed angry.
Right.
I will wake up cussing you out with the biggest 5-syllable words you've ever heard in your, and that's not anything to chase away.
Nope. Share that motivation, please.
But that's something that we have been socialized to not be proud of. So this, I'm just learning to be proud of who I am, wherever I am.
And we're penalized for it too.
And you know what? I reject that penalty.
Yep.
I reject that penalty, particularly if that penalty comes from other black people who are trying to fit me into a mold. I reject that mold.
Blackness is not a monolith. It's something that's been said over and over.
I'm tired of us saying it but not believing it.
Right? Exactly. We don't give ourselves the luxury of being
saying it in defense. Right. I don't have anything that I have to defend myself against to you.
Amen.
Right. I am enough.
Right.
You are enough.
Right.
Matter of fact, I'm a badass.
Well, go with your bad self.
Telling myself that.
Amen.
I want to say, and it sounds so simple, and yet sometimes the simplest principles are the hardest things for us to grasp onto. Be your own feminine entity. Be your own woman. Be your own self. Not necessarily because of men, not because of family, not because of what the world has to say, but be your own femme based on who you pick and choose and what you want to cherry pick from society. And I know we're tempted to be like our friends and try and build our sisterhoods to have all the things we don't have within ourselves. But if you're trying to fortify yourself, you need to be within yourself, self-sustaining. Not community is great for reinforcing it, but you need to at least make sure you have a little bit of it in you.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
So
That's
be
true.
your own femme.
That's very true. Nobody gets to decide who you are but you.
Amen.
That's very true. I like that. Kim.
Well, since
I do.
Y'all some quite intelligent black women. I think I like y'all.
Oh, do you like me?
Well, we like our mentor.
I done got me a gold star for the day. I feel proud.
Yeah.
Look, let's make sure you go to bed too early.
Hold on. You know too much. I don't know if I'm gonna be asleep on time. All right, we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
We gotta make sure that black excellence comes out.
I can excel and be sleepy. I can excel and be sleepy. I'm gonna just be a little angry.
All right, Becky. All right, Sandra.
Now, since we're wrapping up here, Kat, do you have anything recent coming up you want to tell anyone about? Since the last time we've spoken.
I just wanted to say happy celebration, everyone. This is our month. This is our only month recognized. And I just hope that everyone is truly living in their purpose, whatever that may be. Mm-hmm. Fake eyelashes or not. Mm-hmm. Live your purpose, because I like my lashes too.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't make you any less a woman. Doesn't make you any less black. Doesn't make you any less perfect. Where can we find you, Kat? Same socials? Anything new?
I am developing a new social media. Ooh. Please comment if you like Kat Chico transitioning into K Dakota.
Oh, that's interesting. K Dakota. We're gonna have to hear for that one.
Hey Dakota, come on now.
Just watch out for that black excellence coming to you.
All right. We might have to be on the lookout for K Dakota, y'all.
Hey Dakota.
Dr. J, where can we find you? Do you have anything coming up?
I don't really. If I do, I usually don't even remember it until the day, and it pops up on my Google Calendar.
Dr. J. Is this where I give you your speech about black excellence and preparedness?
You can catch me in class.
Catch me in the classroom. How about that?
Catch me in the right? That little girl talking about catch me outside. Catch me in the classroom. That's my calling. I love teaching. I love Chico State students. I love
And do you
learning so that I can share new things. So that's where you can catch me.
in the educational spaces, blessing the minds.
Catch me with Justice for Desmond.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the anniversary of his murder is coming up in 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so catch me with that. Catch me with whatever else is going on. I'll be somewhere fighting, fussing, cussing somebody out, and then sitting down to write about it.
I know that's right. Do you have any social medias you want to tell the people about?
No.
That's fine. Any websites, anything?
I ain't trying to get arrested.
What you say?
I said I ain't trying to get arrested.
Okay.
Y'all in them shovels.
It's on my Facebook is all we need to know.
Y'all in them shovels. We ain't getting arrested, y'all.
Thank you. I say some outlandish things on my Facebook page, so it's, only a few folks can be allowed. So.
It's exclusive only, y'all. I'm sorry. You gotta earn that one.
Need to shovel your damn self.
Well, as always, this has been another episode of the Roze Garden. I am your host, La Rosa, aka La Rosa Negra, or Black Rose if you're nasty. And as always, thank you for allowing me to be myself, and I'll catch you all on the next one. Bye, y'all.
Adios.